The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast. Woo woo. Yes, sir. Man, we at the Streets A&R Podcast, man. It's your host, Giddy Jicky with it.
It's your other host, Johnny No Good.
And we got today, we like to have our guests. And we got a real one. We got definitely a real one in the house today. Man, been tearing up the music scene for a while here. A man who is, I'll say, in a shift, a major shift. And that shift is going to show up in different ways. And I think the music is going to be one. The music and the message is going to follow the shift. Which anytime you shift the personal journey, what you output in the world changes as well. So we are excited to, have this guest here. He's won awards, been on some lists. A man who's, it's funny, it's crazy. Like, you ever think about like Christian rap, and then you listen to people like didn't even know they were in Christian rap. Oh, he just rapped. Yeah. And that's the one I think that's one of the highest compliments, because you're not gimmicky. You do what you was doing, and what's coming next in this next chapter in life is going to be even more exciting to see how it manifests in that music on that microphone. Man, we got one of Omaha's fire spitters, that a little bit of that Midwest style. We got our guy Jay Crum in the house, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. For real.
Man, I'm glad to have you here, bro.
Yeah, man.
Man, how long we rocking the turban, man? That shit fire.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I like it, man. I don't know. I even got a partnership with the dude that makes them. So,
man,
it's just like he sent them to me for free. It's like, I'm gonna keep supporting.
Yes, sir.
I don't see too many other people doing it, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's almost like synonymous with my brand at this point. So yeah, you
found one. You got one. You got a hit. Like, listen, man. Like when you hit, you hit.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Jay Crum here. Just real quick, Crum. I think is let's talk about some of the stuff you were in, like as far as the music business.
Yeah. And
kind of where you see yourself heading towards now, like. What you used to, who was Jay Crum and who is Jay Crum?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm in a lot of ways the same person. I'm a passionate man. I'm a person who wears his heart on his sleeve, and so. The things that are important to me, you're going to have that's just gonna. There's going to be an output of that. You're going to see that. It's going to manifest itself. You're going to see it. You're going to know what I'm about at all the times. Really, like you don't have to really guess. You know what I mean? I think as life for me shifts, right, my viewpoints change, and everything like that. The things I speak about and talk about that I feel are important, I'm going to talk about. And so, I think there was at one point where my faith was most important, right? And I was so gung-ho and like passionate about this thing that I felt like was realistic, you know what I mean? Like I just felt like I was so secure, and so I felt like I was so right in it, you know what I mean? And I think when some of that got like, as I really researched and as I really studied and as I really like searched my own heart and everything, as that shifted, I think it was a thing that like a lot of people probably didn't see coming. Especially as like, you were 2020 I was playing the church. You know what I mean? Like, like that was like that's what I was doing, you know. And then coming out of, 2021, like, okay, well, I don't even know what I believe at this point. You know what I mean? At that point. So it was like, it was definitely something I think a lot of people didn't see coming. But I don't know, man. I think for me, it's really important that, I don't really, I guess what I speak about now isn't necessarily trying to make somebody believe something, right? It's not me trying to turn anything on his head. It's not me trying to do it, like, whatever you want to believe is what you want to believe. I think for me, it's like when I see harmful behaviors or harmful viewpoints, or when I see those belief systems oppress other people, that's when I feel like, okay, this is something I need to speak out on. And that's what, so when I'm vocal about the things I'm vocal about, it's usually because I've seen how it affects people on the other side of it. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at now. The music, it's kind of been breaking down a lot of that. I have an album getting ready to come out, and it's really me, like, as I've been going through this process, the music's been coming along with me. So you're kind of going to see, kind of documented it all through music, so people can kind of see where I was coming from. So yeah.
For sure. With this this shift that you're experiencing, what's one of the misconceptions that people have had about you? One of the biggest ones, especially because I think a lot of people tend to hold on to who somebody was, not who they are becoming.
Yeah. Biggest misconception is that I got hurt, and that's why I did. That's why, like, I'm just hurt, so that's why I'm like lashing out, or I'm, I'm saying the things that I'm saying. So a lot of people will write me off because they're like, oh, well, I'm sorry that the church hurt you, but stuff like that. And it's not, or they'll say like, dang, what's the most common one? They'll be like, look at Jesus, don't look at the Christians. You know what I mean? Like, they'll say that, and they're like, just ignore all of that. That's like hurting millions of people. Look past all of that. Just focus on Christ, and but like, for my thing is like, if I was ever gonna let hurt stop me, that shit like would have happened a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like that. long. Like, if people knew my story, they know like that would have happened years ago. So this doesn't have anything to do, not anything, but this doesn't have as much to do with that as people think. So, yeah.
Oh, man, for sure. Yeah. And just real quick, I see you mentioned your work traveling with you, right? Your work and as an MC, bringing those stories along, because you're not somebody who likes to play around with just music and just make the cool little bop. You always have had something to say, and from your viewpoint and from your base, what should we kind of expect from from a musical standpoint with what you're about to put out to the world relatively soon? That's coming on that journey. What are you documenting? Like,
yeah, so it's really the process of like being this, the process from how does someone go from like this devout Christian to now like being like, I was wrong about a lot, and unpacking that and seeing like what happens to the relationships that you had, what happens to the fan base you might have had, what happens to, closeness with family as you go through that process, what happens eternally, through that, the guilt sometimes that comes from that, of like, damn, like, I let my faith get in the way of being a good brother to this dude. You know what I mean? Like, I let my faith get in the way of like, stuff like that. So I think unpacking all those things, calling a lot of that stuff out, And there's some bops, bro. Like there's still, you know what I mean? There's still like it's all like it's the best music I've ever made. Cause I was like, it's kind of, you arrive to a point where you're like, I think before you have a fan base, like before, where you're like, there's a lot of things I wanted to say even then, but you have like this fan base that's like,
oh, you better say,
yeah,
we listen to you for this,
right, and we expect this like you can't say this, you can't, you know, you'll be kind of cast out of even a whole genre by like the words that you say or the way that you say it or whatever. I think at this point it's like, okay, well, I lost all that, so I have like nothing to lose. So with a man with nothing to lose,
everything to gain.
Yeah, and everything to gain, right? What does that look like? From somebody who has seen the inner workings of almost all of it. So, and bringing that to the music, I think the project's super special, and I'm really excited for people who follow like the last like few months. You've probably heard some music and stuff that echoes what I'm talking about. But when you hear the whole project, it all kind of comes together. So.
You got anything, Johnny?
Yeah, man. You know, September is not only is it National Suicide Awareness Month, but it's National Self-Care Month, man. How, as a black man in a space where, you know, it's kind of hard to be vulnerable and stuff like that, how are you taking care of yourself in 2022?
Man, that's a good question, bro. Oh, man. For me, I've been in therapy.
Okay.
I've been in therapy for the last year, and so that's been huge for me. So being able to really unpack certain things, really like figure out traumas and why I feel a certain way, and figuring out the root of the issue, you know, I think it's been really dope. And so, man, I want to deal with like my stuff in like an emotionally healthy way, you know. As I get to this next phase of life, you know, I want to be a father. I want to do all that. I want to be in a good emotional state, and you know, be the best person I can be. So, yeah, I think for me, that's been the biggest thing for me lately.
Yeah, that's beautiful. As far as that journey of being in therapy and stuff like that, what has that looked like, and how has that helped as far as like self-love and self-care and those aspects, and giving you different avenues to express what you've been going through or feeling? Yeah,
man. I think the coolest thing is like with my therapist, through this process, because it's very easy like when you deconstruct, you kind of pull away from faith, and, or even like not even like pull away from faith, like maybe even just changing it, shifting it, you know, growing in a way that maybe other people don't agree with. It's very easy for those people to make you feel like you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. Make you guilt you into just make you feel like you've abandoned someone, or you turn your back on someone or whatever. But in therapy, like my therapist has always kept me reminded that like you're not doing anything wrong. Like, and you don't owe anything to anybody. You know, like this is your life, this is your journey, this is your walk, you know? And so so being able to like choose myself, like I've never been able to do that. Like I've never been able to do that and feel good about it. Because like growing up in church, it was always this thing, you die to your flesh, you die to yourself, you know? So any decisions you make in pursuit of self, or even self growth, was like, in a lot of ways was viewed like self-righteousness or pride or arrogance, or, you know, fruitless, you know? And I think now not having any guilt about that has put me in a really great spot, I feel like, mentally. Being I'm myself unapologetically, you know, and I love myself. Like that's like I've never been able to say that shit and mean it. You know what I mean? But like I legitimately love myself now. Yeah, so like and so like it's cool to even hear that like come out in the music too. You know, a different kind of confidence, a different kind of like just knowing that you're supposed to be here. Like I deserve to be in the room. You know what I mean? I deserve like just knowing. You know what I mean? And so I think that's been incredible for me. So yeah.
As an artist, you know, having that confidence in your art and having that confidence in yourself, how have you seen like the shift in music or the perception or the reception to your music?
Yeah, so like when I deconstructed and I told everybody I was agnostic or whatever, I lost like a lot of my fan base. Like sites stopped posting me. Those lists that you mentioned, you know, they stopped fucking with me. They'll you know what I mean? And I was like, but my thing was like, yo, like, so be it. Like, I would rather like that be that and then me to continue to live something that's not true for me anymore. You know what I mean? And so, but what happened was almost immediately, as I became more transparent and as I started talking about these things, and as like, I dropped a song called Clarity. And this is when I dropped Clarity, I was introduced to like this whole group of people. Like the song went like viral on TikTok. And so there's this whole group of black folks that were like, yo, like I fuck with this. Like this is like, I've been feeling like this, you know, I didn't know how to articulate this. Like this is how I feel. And like, you know, and so like, I don't know, like it's not as big of a fan base, but it's like we all like there's a different connection there because it's this thing of we're all being honest with ourselves. We're all asking the hard questions. We're diving in and kind of trying to figure this thing out together. And so it's like community now. And so yeah, it's dope. I really like it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Like so I know you mentioned like the things that you lost by living more of your truth, but what are some of the opportunities and connections that you made that you've gained by living this way? Because you know you might lose the fame for now, but you may be able to build a more authentic engagement with people. So what are some of the things that you've gained? Specifically, even like people you've even been opened up to work with, because it's not. You don't have that label anymore. Yeah.
As far as what I've gained, I've gained a support system. Even with it being parasocial, like it's still a support system. You know what I mean? And I think that's been really dope. I've been invited to speak on like different panels. Deconstruction type panels and stuff like that, talking about my journey on that aspect. Yeah, man, I think it's just been dope. I don't know what collaborations are gonna come out of it. We'll see, but I think it's at this point, like I don't see any like limitations at this point, you know. Because before it was this thing of like, oh, I can't approach them because I can't, you know, people gonna act all crazy if I do, or, you know, and I was like, all right, whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, I'm just curious, like, I know like people like Lecrae will be performing in like churches and stuff, and I know he used to have the stance like I'm not a Christian, I'm a rapper who's a Christian, so
right.
He would kind of be able to go where he pleased to perform. Did you have any of those reservations back then as far as where you could perform, and were there are places like you had to kind of question like, man, I really want to go here, and now you have the freedom to go there? Is there anything like that went on?
I still believe in the stance of this. Like, I still believe now what I believe then as far as where you can bring your music, right? Because, like, I feel like if the music's dope, you can bring it anywhere. Most people don't think it's okay to just go out and shoot niggas, like, but you still gonna bump the music. You know what I mean? Like, you still go do it. You hear YG, you probably, if he was talking to you, saying those lyrics, you'd be like, nah, man, I don't know if, like, I rock with that. But, like, it doesn't matter. You still, like, the music bangs. You know what I mean? So you listening to it. So it was like, as long as the music's good, you can bring it anywhere. And I think that's why Lecrae was able to bring it to different places. I think now, because then I was going to those places to, like, be a light. You know what I mean? I was going to those places because I'm gonna. It's just this, like, this pretentious, like,
savior.
Yeah. This, like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm coming here to change lives. I'm coming here to be the light. I'm coming here to be the difference. Now it's like I'm coming to rap my ass off. I'm going to show y'all why I belong here. You know what I mean? I'm here to give my music unapologetically, sharing my heart. Like there's no ulterior motive anymore. It's just I'm here. You know what I mean? To do what I do and do what I love. You know, and there's no pretentious, like none of that stuff that was there. Even if I felt like I could say that I felt like I was coming from a pure place, and maybe I was, but it's just when you, like, describe it and when you think about, okay, what am I here for? When you hear it out loud, you're like, nah, man, that sounds like, that's wild to me. You know, that comes off as like you're better, or you think you got something that other people don't, or something like that. You know, so yeah, that's where things I think have shifted and changed for
sure. Yes, sir. Changing gears. Do you feel? I know we talked about, like, the turban. Mm-hmm. You got the frames. Mm-hmm. You got the beard. Mm-hmm. Aesthetically, do you have a look that you go for, and then do you feel like, how important do you feel it is to maybe have a persona or go-to look as far as that helps with your branding?
Yeah, I think for artists, it's important to have things that people can associate with you. Mm. So even if it's not just music, when they see it, it reminds you of them. Mm. You know, it's the same as, like, if I go to Chick-fil-A anywhere in the world, I know where everything is. I know where the restrooms are. I know where the checkout is. Mm. I know what's on the menu. I know they probably gonna have a little play somewhere in the back. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same everywhere. The branding is consistent. I know when I say thank you, they're gonna say your pleasure instead of you're welcome, or my pleasure instead of, you know. So it's a consistency thing, and so like, when you look at, like, a lot of artists, the same thing. You look at, like, J. Cole, right? You know what the hair gonna look like. You know he probably gonna have, like, a hockey jersey with some shorts on. Mm. Like, that's like it's just a thing. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a brand consistency, and so I think it's Kendrick. He's on the thing right now where, like, he got the diamond crown every performance. He got the diamond crown. He got that bag. Mm. You know, and that's what it is every time. Baby Keem, he rapping a whole suit. Mm-hmm. You know, every performance he got a suit on. Mm-hmm. You know, and so it's important, I think, to have to just think about the whole package and versus just, I'm just here to rap. It's not like me. Like, I dress like this, like, all the time. It's not like a gimmick thing. Yeah. It's just a thing where it's like, this is just who I am. This is what I do. Like, this is what I like, you know? But yeah, I think just making sure that, cause we're businesses ultimately, you know what I mean? Like, think about everything. Think about how you present yourself. Think about how you sound. Think about, the people you associate yourself with, the businesses you align yourself with, the causes that you align yourself with. Like, you want to think about all of those things. Figure out what you're passionate about, make that part of your brand, and go from there. So.
You know who I've always thought did that masterfully over the years, and who's also shape shifting it a little is Janelle Monáe.
Yeah,
Because everybody, when she started marrying, she always got on the suit, but now it's not always the suit, and it's not always black. It's still black, white, beige, or the vanillas or beige. But I've watched her brand shift with her, but not stray too far from how it started. And it's cool to learn how to bring people along with you as well, when it's even though it's a look, but it's kind of crazy. It juxtaposes her music, because her music is all over. She can do whatever she want to do on the track. So it's cool to see that, and that's part of her brand.
Right. She's fine.
I go to work. It's basically uniform is what she said. It was taking my uniform, but then I go perform at work. So it's cool. And then, like you said, just thinking about all those aspects is always important as an artist. I know, it's a terrible question. I won't say, what are your expectations for your album? And I'm not really talking sales. What are you expecting, or what are you wanting people to get from it? Is there something you want people to get from it? And if it is, what is that?
I want people to be able to not be afraid to ask questions. I want people to not be afraid to figure out why they believe what they believe. I want people who might have been in it or may be in the same spot as I was to feel seen, and to know that, like, you're not alone in that. Because when I told everybody that I was like agnostic, bro, I had like award-winning artists, like Dove Award, Stella Award artists messaging me talking about, like, I don't believe either, but like I can't let go. You know what I mean? Because I got a family, I gotta, I have a whole career that I gotta maintain. So I can't even be honest about how I feel about certain things, because like it will ruin me, And I think for me, I was in sort of a blessed spot because I wasn't like huge. Still hurt, you know what I mean? It still hurt my wallet a little bit, right. But like,
you take it from my plate.
Yeah. But I was in a spot to where it was like I'm not going to be ruined by this. I can start over. I'm not afraid to start over. So yeah, I think that too, like not being afraid to start over. Like, regardless of what you felt like you've built off of this, like, it's okay, because the hardest thing was like, damn, like, I put in 32 years of this shit. I went to school for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I went to Bible college. I got a degree in biblical studies. I've been part of church my whole life, and so to like put that up, like, me, bro, that was synonymous with me, like, y'all know, like, so I want people to know, like, it's okay, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like maintain this image, for other people. Like, stop living so much for other people. Your life is your own, and so and you can pick what's important. You can create your own code and ethics and all that, And so yeah, like
It's crazy because I be seeing people argue with you about the Bible. I'm like, y'all, do y'all not?
Oh yeah.
They're like, y'all gotta. All right, he finna cook y'all, and he's so nice with it too.
Yeah.
That's how I know you live in your truth, because you don't try to hurt nobody. You like, look, man, this is. And I done seen some crazy, because it's like when they don't have a point, when they can't win their point, they attack. That is the human nature thing that we do. When I can't argue your point, here come the insults or whatever, and it's like you do an amazing job of just tampering that and not making it worse, not going back. Where did you? And I'm like, how did you get that level of resolve and patience in yourself?
Bro, I work with kids like my whole life.
Oh, that'll do it.
So yeah, so I work. I was gang interventionist. I worked at group homes. I worked as a mentor for forever. Like, that's just, so dealing with kids. People call it all types of MFers and all this stuff. It's like, all right, So, and also understanding, like, I know what it's like to be on the other end of that. Because, like, your response to me isn't you being mad at me. You're not mad at me. You're insecure about your faith. And so, you know me as somebody who knows scripture probably more than anybody else you know. You know me as somebody who was completely devout and passionate. I would go into bars praying for niggas. Like, you knew me as that person. So when you have a person like that who knows scripture the way that he does, who is that devout, who cared about his faith that much, say, yeah, y'all, what I've seen, I can't unsee. What I've learned, I can't unlearn. I cannot continue in this. When you hear that, that's scary, because if you're not secure in your faith, then it's like, oh, there might be some legitimacy to what he's saying, and I'm not ready to face that, right? And so I know what that's like. And so I think for me, that's why I try to have a gracious response, because you're not speaking to me so much as you are acting out your own insecurity, and therapy helped out with that a lot too. But even with that, like, when people start they start poking the as far as, like, when they want to try to bring up scripture, try to bring up stuff like that, I don't even start with, I'll be like, do you want to, like, listen, you can believe what you want to believe. I don't even want to, like, open up Pandora's box for you, because if I really start talking about this shit, like, you're not going to be able to come back at me. You know what I mean? Like, so before we start talking about this, I just want to make sure, like, you really want to do this, because, like, that's how some of that happened to me, where it was like, where it was like, oh no, man, like, how did this happen? I had another friend who, like, and I'm like, how did this? And then, as I started researching and started like really, really diving in, I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I can't unsee that anymore. Yeah. I can't unlearn that anymore, And so, I don't want to fuck people up like that. Like, so before you try, just know, like,
and especially online, when it's probably not as genuine as
right.
They really wanted to know or have a discourse with you. It would be in person, and they would try to understand, whereas online is more so, I gotta prove I'm top dog.
Yeah,
that's all our arguments.
Yeah, either that or they'll try to, like, belittle you, or they'll try to, like, be like, well, I'm sorry the church hurt you. Yeah. I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry you got hurt, but everybody gets hurt. Stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that's not what happened here.
They call it, when they have the men and women relationship, sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, and need to be right. That goes across any dispute.
Yeah.
So yes, sir. John, you got? I know we could go, but
I'm listening, man. Y'all got the hard questions, whatever. I want to answer them. So, like, anything y'all feel like, I don't know if I want to ask that, I'm down to answer. So,
let me think. I don't, I ain't got, a bunch. I want to, respect for time and
No,
stuff.
I appreciate
but
it.
also, you got something, Johnny?
I mean, I always ask my poetry students, like, what's something that you aren't writing about that you should? And so for you, I'll ask, what's something that you should be writing about that you aren't, or what's something that you should be speaking on that you aren't? And why is that?
I need to speak about what the role that religion plays on relationships more. And I think I haven't spoken much about it yet because some of it is still fresh for me. Like, when I started with this thing, I was married and like all of that. And so as seeing what that's kind of done to my relationship and the distance it's brought, it's seeing like how much weight religion plays on some of those things when I don't really feel like it should. To where sometimes this thing doesn't become about love between two people. It's about like, what do we believe about when we die? You know what I mean? Like what do we believe about, who's in the sky? You know what I mean? So it's like this thing of like, we put so much weight into something that we don't, if we're truly, truly honest about it with ourselves, we truly don't know the answer to. What I do know is that I love you. You know what I mean? And I think if more relationships could be built in that versus the church always saying like, God has to be the center of it, when really your love for each other should be the center of it. Because that can, you know what I mean? Like that could change. But if you had that, so I think for me, like I want to talk about that more. It's fresh. So I think for me, it's like as I unpack that some more, I'll speak about it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Appreciate you talking about that, man. I think that when we talk about love, we talk about the expression of love, the ideology of love. Even a lot of times when we talk about religion, it's an ideology behind it. And so it's definitely, a vulnerable space when that's what you created your relationship on. That was the foundation, that was rock. How are you moving forward in your relationship and mending that forward and making sure that the love is the foundation?
Yeah, I think for me, it's not forcing anything. I think for me, it's allowing. I think that's a really good question, bro. I think for me, it's like allowing the other person, if they need to process how they need to, to grow how they need to grow, to feel how they want to feel. I think also understanding what you deserve as well. And I don't think I've ever entered into any relationship concerned about what I deserve and what I should tolerate and what I shouldn't.
What do you deserve?
I deserve reciprocation. I deserve respect. I deserve autonomy. And so I deserve to be wanted. I deserve to be a priority. Someone else is a priority, and so I think getting to a place where I can choose those things for myself. It's interesting, man. It's really interesting, like how unhappy we can be when we don't understand, like the other person could be completely happy and completely joyful, and, you know, feel like you're the greatest or whatever, but like inside you're dying, inside you're just like, because you never chose yourself. It's not even about choosing yourself, but it's just like you never set up a boundary for yourself to be like, yo, like this is what I deserve. Like this is what I you know. And so I think we always forget that. And so I just want more people to be able to realize what you deserve as well. And I think it'll make you a better partner anyway. Like when you love yourself more, you're able to love others more. You know? So yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually heard a saying one time, and they said, who has more power, who controls the relationship? And the answer was the person that cares the least. Right?
Yeah.
The one that cares the least to make it work. Because the one that cares more is going to do more.
It's gonna yeah.
You can manipulate that. So it's the relationship dynamics and are always interesting, especially when a person is going through a shift or a change, and then I know there has to be a space where you almost start to question: did you love me, or did you like me?
Right, like, me as who I am.
Yeah. Or just the things that I provided you, which includes that spiritual base, which includes that spiritual guidance. So, and that can put a strain on anything when somebody, you know, it seems like it's not there, or you feel like they didn't take me as I am. And I think a lot of relationships, people don't know each other.
That part.
Like,
right.
truly don't know each other.
Right.
And people don't care.
That's really good.
You know,
they know each other, or they don't know each other outside of.
I think their roles outside of their roles.
Exactly. I think for me, when you take away that, because it like literally when you build all your foundation on, you know, what you believe about God, right? Your entire foundation, your entire personality, everything built around that. What you look for in a person, what you tolerate, how you love them, you know, what you will and won't do. All of it is dictated by that. So when that goes away, and you're not actually in love with that person, right? Or you're not actually like for that person. It's like it's a stranger there, you know. It's like you don't know how to talk to them no more. You don't know how to. And then you got the other person like, yo, I'm still me. You know what I mean? Like I'm still like, and it's still me. I just don't. This part's just changed, you know. And that's hard. And I do in some aspects get the other side of it. But just because I get the other side of it doesn't mean I agree with it, you know. And so, you know, but I'm in a really good place right now. Like even with all that, like still, I'm still in a good place. I'm in a place where it's a sober place where it's like I'm able to feel all of it, and I don't have to use like religion to like, you know. Sometimes we'd be like, you know, God got it. God's good, you know, all the time. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff where it's like, no, I can feel it all. Like, yo, this is fucked up. You know what I mean? But like, and I can sit in that and be like, yo, this is fucked up. I don't have to like talk different about it. Like, no, that's a fucked up situation. And you know, it is what it is. It's so like feeling that and processing that and going through that. It's healthy, you know. A lot of times we try to like mask and cover up our grief. You know, I remember before I would like I would try to spend like hours in like worship, trying to like make the feelings go away, you know. And it didn't make the feelings go away. It just, you know, it just was. It was just this thing where I felt like I had to find hope in something else, and it just makes me continue. It makes me just bury those things, you know. Man, I'm telling you, when every Christian I knew that started getting therapy, like when they started, like they thought like that. Oh, I thought like God healed me from it. I was like, no, that's not what happened, yo. Like you just buried it. You never dealt with it. You just thought you could just cast it at his feet and think it would go away. Like, nah, you didn't actually deal with the shit, you know? And so I would just say, like, for me, like being able to just like experience things as they are has been incredible for me. So
For sure.
Yeah.
I always be trying to think of something slick to say. I don't know why. I was just thinking this might not hit. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I'm like, I wonder if everybody who's covered in the blood ever took a shower. Wash that off, and then what do you have?
Man,
Who are you under there? But
yo, that's that part where it's like, who like, what is your personality outside of this? Like, what do you like? What are you into? Because like, for especially like the super devout, everything you like, you appreciate, you believe has all been written out for you. You don't get an opinion. What does the Bible say about it? That's what your whole life has been. So like,
you ain't gotta tell me, brother. I grew up in the church, Kojic, and my uncle was a bishop. My grandmother's brother was a bishop, and
man,
you know, I'm like, you know, I got, even with just having long hair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one day, I was like, you know, she's going to show me the scripture. I just pointed to the wall at the baptism pool, like, he got long hair.
Right.
So what are we talking about?
Right.
I'm confused. I'm like,
man.
I'm like, there's too many contradictions. Y'all.
Too many, right?
But yeah, man. Shoot, man. We're gonna have to, this might be one of them part twos.
Yeah.
Where we just kick it.
Yeah.
But man, J. Crum, anything? I asked, do you have a expected release date for this project that you can say?
Let me see. I just uploaded everything, so let me see.
Oh, he ready?
Yeah. Let's see.
And this ain't no coming June 2024.
Nah. We're looking at October 28th.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hey man, I'd have been mad. I'd have said you a troll if you'd have released it on Christmas.
Right.
You the biggest troll.
But no, and then we got a bunch of like I got singles dropping before then too. So singles, videos, you know, all that stuff.
Any shows coming up around the area or anywhere?
Yeah, we're playing Culture House September 30th.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, is that September 30th? November. We're playing Culture House November.
November. Okay.
Yep, I think that's the next one. I have one in Lincoln September 30th, and that's at Storm Cellar.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
And where can the people find you at, J. Crum?
jcrummusic.com. J. Crum Music pretty much everywhere. That's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah, you can find me there.
Oh man. Hey man, this is amazing conversation, a needed conversation, and especially amongst our community, bro. Like we appreciate who you are. We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all, man.
You know what I'm saying? And we are looking forward to everything you got going. And I'm definitely, I am always interested in albums that talk about growth, unwrapping and rewrapping themselves. So I'm excited. I'm ready to cop that bad boy, and can't wait, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
No, I appreciate y'all.
Man, Johnny, man, it's a good day.
Man, it's been a beautiful day.
Beautiful day, man.
Yeah.
Y'all know, just Streets A&R Podcast. Y'all know where to find us at. We are at Streets A&R. All socials. We pushing. Hey, I got a trick. We gonna get to this 100 on YouTube. We gonna get to this 100. But we are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Podcast is on everything. but Apple, and we're gonna make that change because I think they got all that stuff fixed for us. So we are live on YouTube as well. So you can catch us everywhere. Until the next time, man, it's your host Giddy Jicky with it.
It's your other host Johnny No Good.
And we out of here.
Peace.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets.